Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Muddy Waters podcast and YouTube video series. My name is Philip Macko. I will alternately be host and or co-host of this podcast and video series. And really the purpose and the goal of Muddy Waters is to call out the scams and demystify misinformation. And our goal is not to be opinion hosts, not to present what we believe to be correct, but instead to objectively, present you with the facts in the hopes that, listen, we've all fallen into these echo chambers of information. And sometimes those echo chambers lead us to conclusions, and we base decisions on those conclusions that sometimes aren't right. And my hope is that as you listen to this episode and future ones or past ones, that you just step outside that echo chamber and triangulate, right? Do your own research. Go outside your current sources. Have not just an opinion, but an informed opinion. And of all the things you can research, the prevalence of scams are super important. And today I'm going to revisit an episode that we posted last month, and we were talking about AI. And certainly, AI holds the promise of a brave new world, and so many innovations are spurred and spawned from the progressions in AI. But what we talk about in that episode is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And certainly there's some bad. There are some industries that are going to be affected. There are some roles and positions that in the future might be eliminated. That's not the focus on today's session. Today we're going to talk about the ugly and very specifically the scams. So this week, a couple in Pennsylvania received a panic call in the middle of the night, which led to them losing over $34,000. They received a call from someone presenting themselves as a police officer who said, "We have your daughter in custody. There's been a horrible, violent car accident. We're going to put her on the phone." And according to this couple, they said, "Obviously, we know our daughter. We know her voice. She was crying on the phone. We know what she sounds like when she cries. This was our daughter," right? So they put the daughter on the phone. Police officer came back and said, "Listen, we just wanted to make you aware of the situation. We'll be in touch with you." A little bit later, they got a second phone call, and this was from someone representing themselves to be an attorney who said, "I can get your daughter out of jail, but I'm going to need some money." So they made arrangements, and the next morning, a courier arrived at the couple's house and received $17,000 from the couple. They were then informed that that wasn't going to be enough money, and they funneled an additional $17,000 to a second courier who arrived later in that day. Then they got a call from their daughter's husband, and it was then that they were alerted to the fact that they may be victim of a scam. So they contacted the police. The police, of course, did an incident report. Their only recourse right now is surveillance videos. So everything from those Ring doorbells that record to any cameras that might have been in this very small city in Pennsylvania. They're scouring through, but I think we can all recognize that the likelihood of this couple recouping that money is very, very slim, right? So let's talk about what actually happened here. In last month's episode, I shared with the audience that I subscribe to an AI video service, and recently they upgraded to the ability of recording your voice and having your voice narrate the videos that they create for you. It's all, public domain kinds of photos and videos that they incorporate into this. And I simply uploaded my voice, 30-second sample, and told it to create a video. I don't even remember what the topic was. I then sent a link to that video to 5 of my friends and said, "Listen, I'm not sure about the narration. How do you think I sounded?" To a person, all of them thought it was me. So here's what's happening in terms of scams and how AI is being utilized. Now, scammers can take up to a 15-second sample of your voice and literally recreate it. So there's a few ways they're extracting your voice. Maybe like me, you're recording podcasts and YouTube videos. Maybe you're on TikTok. They can pull it from there. If not, they're also making phone calls. And oftentimes the phone calls sound like this. Hey, hello, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Who is this? I'm calling to reach blah, blah, blah. Is this blah, blah, blah? No, I'm sorry, this isn't blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Even in that short interaction, they may have enough recording of your voice to recreate it on AI. They simply write a script, as they did in the case of this Pennsylvania couple. They wrote a script for the daughter, told AI what they wanted it to sound like, included crying, and put this recording in along with the scammer, right? And that's how simple it is. So here's the good news. There are two things you can do to protect yourself, and they're very easy to do, and they don't cost anything, but they're important. So step one, for all your loved ones, family members, close friends, all those people who might be used in the setting of the scam, establish a code. And that code could be 123 ABC or Scooby Dooby 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 Doo, whatever it may be, right? But have that code. Don't put it in writing. Don't text it to them. Don't put it in email. Don't post it online, obviously. Voice to voice, person to person. Tell them the code, right? And if you get one of these calls that says, hey, it's your daughter and she had this, or your son had that, whatever it may be, and they put the son or daughter on the phone, all you have to do is say, hey, honey, I really want to help you. Please tell me the code, right? And if they don't know the code, well, there's your first sign. The other thing is put them on hold, ask them to call back, and call your loved one. There's an interesting story. There was a grandmother in the United States who received a call that said, your granddaughter's been arrested, and we need you to send money to get her out of jail. Coincidentally, the granddaughter was asleep on the second story of the grandmother's home, so she knew immediately that this was a scam. But we're not always that lucky, right? Maybe our loved ones live across the country and we get this alarming message, and of course we want to jump in and help. But you want to call and verify before you send any money. And if you just take those two steps, two simple steps, you can protect yourself. So I hope you got something from this. I hope it protects you from falling victim to this scam. And as future ones arrive, we just did an episode on pig butchering, which is prevalent in the crypto markets today. We're going to keep you informed on these, constantly evolving scams, as well as talking about current things that are happening and trying to clear up the misinformation. So listen, if you got something from this, please share, please like, please subscribe, and also put in the comments any future topics you might want me to cover, or when Jason joins me, the two of us to cover. Super excited to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining today's episode, and hope you have